I think that, like I rightly said, you are one of the household names when it comes to acting. Hey, solid. You
Amen.
speak well, you act well, you look
Amen.
like it, even though you still have black lips. All right.
And the high secret.
Huh? I'm sure the biggest question will be, how did this dude become a pastor?
I know,
It's
right?
one of those questions I want to spend time
I know.
on.
I know. That's a very good question, actually. Um, you know, one night I was with the wife, and we said, let's get some of our people together. When I started going to church and everything, and I got pretty serious with God. Let's get actors together, just because we are the people that everybody would least expect that we talk about Jesus. But there are many people like me that really love God. And so let's get these people together, and then let's just, like a crusade kind of thing, and get people to come listen to these ones, lead them to Jesus. Da, 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 da. So the first one I did was with Apostolic Church. Chantai there somewhere. Awesome. I mean, Joe Metal. Then Saka Brown, Ken Fiati, Cosmeta Asante. It was a good one. But it was outdoor, crusade, raw, and the healing testimonies. Okay, so,
No, hold on. So this is you stopping everything
and entering into the
and
God
entering into the ministry, born again. You became born again again.
Yeah, God bless
Who
you.
led you?
I went to church with my wife. I think it was 31st night or something. Some Presby church, right? Somewhere.
Okay.
Chalet Butcher somewhere.
Okay.
Altar call level. Yeah, I went
And you-
to pray. Yeah.
and
Again,
now-
again.
And now the passion.
It wasn't it wasn't just like that.
Okay.
Maybe 2 weeks ago, my wife, I will come out, come, she would look at you and say, "You've been smoking." I'm like, "No, like cigarettes." I was still doing cigarettes. After I stopped that, there was still jot there inside. I would go and come back, and she would say, "You've been smoking." Me, and I'll sweat down. I would. When I'm coming home,
You were acting.
I go, of course, you have to act, Charlie. When I'm coming, I'll get oranges, put for my hand and
Oh
things.
my gosh.
Peanuts, my mouth, granite level, and and I can't be actually catch me. I'm telling no matter what. So recently I asked, I said, so tell me, how did they catch me? He said, oh, if we're there, and I'm just off our high one. I clean and they clean, but wow, your cheeks, and it's one
Oh,
your cheeks,
smart
and your
one.
ears.
Oh, no.
So I went through that for a while,
Okay.
and then slowly, started getting serious with God slowly, and then, senior prophet Pokunsia was my mother's pastor in Koforidia, so he started talking to me. He kept telling me, "Where you suffer?" So he mentoring me. He went to his Bible school. I mean, not now. Bible school just recently, but started we'll go in there waiting small. But 3 days near Mumbai, he gets some pastor said, "I want to go Mumbai." I remember I tell you something. When I was, in that space, I went to live in my friend's house, not because I didn't have a place to live. Boys level hold up in one house, in the same area in Tesano. Then at dawn, I stole the guys. Me and some my boy, we stole the guys' cooker. Then they get some fresh cooker we father bring from Holland or something. We steal the cooker we bring some cab, we put the cab inside. Fee.
Oh.
We the enter go bring the cover for the cooker. We come to the cabby.
Team one.
We stood there helplessly watching the cab take the turn. Charlie, now we had to. You don't know. You're going to do it now.
Hey.
What's the they say we said no, they take us go medicine, they go do their thing. As no, now that's how they FA. No, the boys they go there do already. The day before when they tell us so they can't tell me. I said, no, I can't go there. No, I'm going there for it. Say, no. That's okay, no problem. I don't see film. I don't take it. Hey.
And don't you?
I said, bruh, your memo how we are born. I slow down. They come the police station, pass bro. The high point of the story is that the taxi driver ran away with the thing. That's the high point of the story.
And you prayed for it.
Bro, his father came down later. I said, oh, you're the young man who's causing all the trouble in this house. Okay, how are you? His father's a pastor, actually. So I didn't pay for it. He prayed for me. And house. Went back to my house up the road.
Wow. So this journey, right? It's like all your life has seen grace.
Too much.
Yeah. So at this point, you're talking about you and your wife. Now thinking, why don't we extend this grace to the people within our fraternity?
Exactly.
Okay.
So we said, okay, so let's do something with them. For God, evangelistic level, do something. So we did that.
What do you call it? Actor something?
Yeah, APPMC, Actors, Presenters, Professionals, and Musicians for Christ. So we did the first one. Awesome. So after that one, nothing happened for a whole year. We did another one. Nothing happened for a whole year. But I noticed that after the event, people would reach me. I have this problem, that problem, addiction, So we started a prayer, a miracle center in Lincoln for the bush inside there. So we started doing a prayer every Saturday morning. Just there, people come together. That was awesome. People, all kinds of problems. They're unchurched, if you like.
Yeah.
So we come together every Saturday. So that's what, excuse me, that's what went on consistently for a while. And then it slowly sort of metamorphosed into, church, if you like. I still do Sunday morning, but it's Sunday evening. It's still a fellowship. People come from different places. We just pray and everybody goes back home. That's where it started. So now people begin looking up to you, telling you their problems. Then I decided, no, if we're going to do it, then let's do it right so we feed these people right. So Charlie Walker finds a Bible school, went to Old Man's Bible School, and in Koforidua, and then I'm in the Assemblies of God Theological Seminary in Salt Pond. Tomorrow I go to school in the morning. I just so that we are couched right to be able to give, the right information.
Right.
I think that's the problem. So that's where it started, and slowly,
wow.
Here we are.
So how do you call the church or the fellowship?
Well, Grace Avenue. I like number 5. I'm trying to put number 5 before it, but Grace Avenue.
Number 5 Grace Avenue.
Yeah, number 5 Grace Avenue.
Sounds
because
interesting.
my life has been just full of grace.
So that's the same as the Timothy Bentum Ministries.
So the Bentum Ministries is like the umbrella. Under that we have the Youth Smile Foundation, where we go to orphanages and homes and stuff. We have actually adopted a home in Kwabenya, almost 60 something children living with HIV/AIDS. So every now and then we go there, and then we direct lots of our friends to go there as well. So the Youth Smile Foundation, Elisha, my wife, does that with her girls. They do their fasting, We have Fame and Faith, where we go to the schools, and talk to them about Jesus. And we have APPMC. So yeah, Timothy Bentum Ministries. That.
You're doing a good work, I must say. I went on your website yesterday and I saw some notable testimonies. I mean, I'm like, oh, wow, this is awesome, yeah. But, before we get into that bit, let's talk about the movie industry. You hinted earlier that you're still acting. Is that right?
Yeah, it's just that I don't have enough time to act because, you have to go away for 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Why not be a chaperone?
Okay.
And if you give me a script, we'll have a discussion. I mean, if it's revealing,
you don't play certain roles.
I'm sure, because somebody would see me smoking on TV and wouldn't know that there's a moral to the story they must look for, and not just take my stuff out. Like if we saw a Judas, a Jesus movie, if you like, you won't call Judas a backstabber for real, right? He's just part of the story to bring out the morale at the end. Yeah. But we are a bit limited in that understanding as a people. We are not very enlightened yet in that particular department. So you really want your member.
It sounds like something my mother would say.
Exactly my point. Exactly. So you have to be. I remember meeting a woman in the mall, and she has her little bag, old lady, a little bag, and then she begins to beat me with her bag.
Oh.
And I will talk anymore now, and I will talk.
That was the role you played in the movie.
I ripped some girl or some movie scene, and then gradually, mommy. That made me feel good. It means I played the role so well that she thought that I was.
But now that you mentioned that, let's look at the movie industry. Ghana, do we have a movie industry?
We are trying. We are trying. I think that I think that the tree department is doing.
That's the tree department.
And I don't like to call it Kuba wood.
Okay.
When you say Kuba wood,
I like the tree department.
my whole life is church. I say tree department.
I know. Oh, really?
No, I think I think the I was I think say. I think that the tree people, you know, they have a lot of. They are sitting on a cash cow, if you like, and they should just, like Bollywood would do, they should just really revamp, think it through, subtitling right. You know, don't get a guy to follow a camera from here to Aveno, and the camera doesn't follow up just to buy time so you can do 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get very good stuff out there because you have a huge following in Ghana and everywhere else. You know, diaspora level, Schengen states everywhere. So you should. I think I see a lot of promise for them, for the English people. I've always had a problem with it because
really?
you can't do it better than Hollywood. So what we should do as a movie industry is to become like South Africa, where it's an English movie, but there's inside there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they mix. Yeah, and then they subtitle. So
Okay.
you under G sell your culture as a people, and then that's what people want. People who are not Ghanaian want to see. The Ghanaians who are in the diaspora and stuff, they want you want to say Jacko and laugh. They don't want English is there. They don't want to, but we should be able to marry it to make it right. So as to satisfy our local audience and also, you know, endear the foreign audience to make it bigger.
Quite interesting. Are you looking at using your life story as a movie? Like getting a movie out of it?
Yeah. I'm going to start this year. One of the things I'm going to do is put together a book, and then we'll turn that into a movie later on. Myself, Majid and Pascal, we are putting together a series of short films. You know,
The three of you. Is it like what do you call yourselves? You seem to be found all the time. You are the.
No, I'm the black guy with the black lip. I know. That's all there is to it.
No, I was going to say that you guys are the pastors of the movie industry.
It's a very interesting observation. I don't know. I mean, there's a JT and
you gel a lot.
Yeah, I think that we share a lot of like opinions. We have a lot of like opinions, and so yeah, we roll together small.
Ministry people. The last time Majid was here, I think off where he was talking about some blind man be getting healed somewhere in Uganda or Tanzania or
we went. That's so interesting. We went. Well, before we got to Uganda, we somewhere I don't remember what the airport it was, but yes. So we get there and we can't find Majid. Hey, everybody. So when they find out, it'll be Ghana, so yeah, no for call. Then I see him in the corner there, some crippled man, the guy they hold the leg, they pray for him. I say, guy, they go beat us for you.
Which guy fed me that?
Hey, you know, nothing happened to the guy, but that alone told me the degree of the boy in faith. You know what I'm saying? So we get to Uganda, and the man Musumba, he's called, I forgot his name. Musumba. He has a church, like the World Church in Asana. Seats 5,000 people. He does 2 services. Crazy, big. And Uganda has a track record of AIDS. You know, so most of the young people are HIV positive. But anyways, so the lady, the head of protocol's mom, had surgery for the next day. She was slated for surgery the next day, and they come and so, Pastor, can you please pray for my mom? So I'm just gonna do it. Oh, hello, Majid again. Ask everybody to get down.
Jesus.
I said, this guy. Okay, so everybody gets out. And we begin to pray for him. So we stand around and we pray for her. She couldn't see that eye. She was weak and everything. The eye was, very watery and discolored and everything. And we pray for her. After the prayer, of course, she's slain for about 3-5 minutes. When she comes to, there's a new eye in the socket. Like, literally, new eye in the socket. She jumps out. And the woman is, Aunt Robina, she's on the floor.
Wow.
We were in shock. We were like, hey, Obi Maso, we can't pray for somebody. If it hadn't happened, but yeah.
Oh,
So
I see.
when we left there driving out, we saw the woman who was literally, helped in like that, walking in front of the person who helped her. Wow. She's walking behind. He's walking behind.
What did that tell you? I'm sure it just it provoked you guys.
Yeah. It told us that God was with us.
Share one testimony. Share with us one testimony from a ministry. What God has used your ministry to do in the lives of people.
Okay. I used to pray with some guys on a field in Sakuman, opposite the Christ the King. Is it Corpus Christi?
Okay.
All right. And I remember the guy was tatted all over. Nigerian guy. Pray with him every Thursday night with a group of people. And he was HIV positive. One of the nights, God said to me, water, pray over it for him. So after the prayer, I took water and I gave it to him. When he came the next week, he was like, Pastor. He went, I told him, this is what it's supposed to do. So go check. After water's done, go check it. So he came and he was healed. So for me, that just told me, Charlie, the gutter boy way God showed him. Right? That's just one of many things. I mean, God has just been on the 26th of December. We have something called, my wife does something called Siabonga. I always say thank you to God.
Yeah.
And the testimonies. I sat in that chair, bro, and I was just crying like a baby because I hear the testimonies people are giving. Sometimes the testimonies are way, but to hear the people now come together and back to back, God did this, God did this, God did this. And they say, Papa said, Papa prayed, Papa did, Papa. But
Papa
Timo.
Papa Timo.
I'm very confused in my life.
Whilst you're talking about that, I was just trying to picture, the whole ministry of prophets. Like, you act like a prophet sometimes. One of the things I read on your website said that you prophesied to somebody's life. I think they had issues with the rent or so. You prayed
Solomon,
and then,
yes, I remember.
and that brings to mind the what you call it, the directive that came from the IGP's office.
Why the guy would think you're good? I know you prophet. I don't worry about
I'm just asking, what do you think that directive? People are saying that they feel that directive is we're going to stifle the ministry of the prophet. Do you?
It has brought some sanity into that space. I think it has brought some sanity into that space. But if God speaks to the prophet and he doesn't have the boldness to say it, then I'm bothered. Because if God speaks to you, he must be bold enough to say it. You might say it and not get protected by God. It doesn't mean that God has said it, and so once you go and say it out there, you won't go to jail. God might leave you to go to jail, because maybe he wants to go and preach in the jail there or something.
Wow.
All right. So it's okay. If God says it, you should say it. There's no law in the land, so to speak. There isn't one single law that says you can't prophesy in church. I think the IGP is just using another law to try and stifle this. It says don't create fear and panic. Right? Then let's catch every single doctor who said that you get COVID because we're creating fear and panic. People fear, people they buy nose masks, people get business from nose masks because they were creating fear and panic. There's no law that he can stand on to say this one says you cannot prophesy in church. No.
I thought, the reference was what would actually, a lot of times some of these prophecies,
The death.
It scares people, their families, those who rely on them for their livelihood. It's like, so they're saying, you know what, if you got it, this is what I got. If you think you got it,
Go tell the person.
Go tell the person. I mean, the Spirit of the Lord is subject to the prophet, isn't it?
Yeah, but there are times God will say it in the church. There are times God will say, fine, go. But there are times God will say it now. Say it here and now. Yes. Because sometimes you even get access to the person.
So, you are admonishing those who think that God said they should say it now to say it.
And so if God says say it, who am I? Yeah, if you are saying God says it.
Say it and let's see what IGP will do. Timothy Bentum. That's his advice. Yeah. How important is our wives to our ministries. I want to bring your wife into the conversation. How important is she to your ministry?
You know, I spoke to very good friends with Prophet Dr. Kofi Odro. And one thing he told me, also my wife, he said, you guys, one of the biggest strengths in your ministry is the fact that you're friends and you're always together. You're like cool together. It's one of the biggest strengths in your ministry. I mean, next to God, it'd be my wife.
Shit.
I mean, my wife is, and we fight. Yeah, we can fight for Africa.
You and Mafia. I was thinking to say that you and Majid, you sound the same.
Oh, when it comes to family.
When it comes to, and I was at the event, Thanksgiving with Praise TV, where your daughter sang. Like, my goodness, how old is she?
She's 14.
Are you prepping her to be a gospel star?
Absolutely. I think that she's got something. Her mom, she takes after her mom. No, she takes after me. I'm hoping that I can.
Yeah, Mafia. God bless you. Mafia is a business. It's my business partner. I'm sure she's laughing by that. Like, I know. Yeah. And last time when I met her, she gave me some Kutobi. She said, Charlie,
go try this one.
Business, right? What does the future look like for Timothy Bentum, the ministry, Grace Avenue, and all of that? Do you have, what's the plan? I want to see what I can, I can jump in somewhere.
No, I said about 5-6 years ago, my daughter actually reminded me a couple of weeks ago that I said I was going to fill the stadium with young people, with young people who love God, and do a prayer chain for at least 4 hours, and I intend to do that.
I love it.
And I think that I want to be part of that revival that's coming. A song that says, Lord, whatever you're doing in this season, don't do it without me.
Yeah.
And I have my plans of what I want to do and how I want the ministry to go. But I am so bent on the intimacy now that I know that it'll just throw it out of gear, because I'm leaning into God and pressing into God for the intimacy a lot more than just what I want to do. But for me, the young people coming together to pray, for me, it's a big deal. And I've started something with Pastor Kevin PY where we go around. So my home this Friday, young people come together just to pray, not asking for house, car, marry, sort of, but it goes round. So from here, we'll go somewhere else, just so that our feet will come into contact with every single vicinity and bring God and the spirit of revival into every area.
I'll let you push your number out in a bit, okay? Good morning, Fifi. This is Ajiri Beatty listening and live from Dansuman Sahara, another movie star on Up Close. And my question to him is, what lesson do you learn or have you learned in roles you play in movies? In a better context, how have the roles impacted your life? Okay, good morning, Fifi. How can I lay my hands on this clip? I need to get my children to listen to it, help them avoid this danger of experimenting with drugs. This is a great testimony. Can be from Lashabi. Hi, Asafo Fifi. Keep up the good work. Greetings to Engineer Dailayo of Krowo. Okay, Abele, I see you. God bless this moment for your life, bringing divine change, personalities like Tim to your program once again. Tim preaches more to the needed. Thank you, General Fifi from Leslie, Dancer Bachman. Nice and tough journey, Timo. But Fifi, please inform your producer to capture up close session live on one of your sister TVs. I get inspired with some of the revelations. Kelly of Blue Rose Estates, Buduburam. Thank you. I'm going to put a pause on that one. Yes, we are live on Facebook. We're on YouTube. If you miss it, always play it back, okay? Now, I met this I've got just 5 minutes. Let me make the best out of it. I met this young man called Aaron Akron. Aaron now is a preacher. Okay, then he was, how do you call that? He was homosexual. Yeah. And he tells me that his change, okay, started from being a part of your ministry.
Yes, sir.
Is your ministry, what do you call it, taking care of homosexuals?
No, he came to church tattered, with his piercings and his dread and all of that. And we received him with love, hating the sin, but loving the sinner as always. And
is that how we should treat the...
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, championed the anti-LGBT bill. I'm still very much for it. but it doesn't mean that I hate them. I think that they must do right, because then they incur the wrath of God that comes over the whole nation, and all of us get to be implicated in that process. So all of us have to put our shoulders to the wheel to make it happen. He came to church, spoke, prayed together, started to do some counseling with him, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He's had almost 20 years of being gay, and the grace of God found him. He just passed out a Bible school at Cathedral.
What should the church do to such people?
I think we should love them. They're very lost, and if you find a man that's crazy and you tell him you're crazy and he says, "Get up, I'll slap you," you don't hit him with a stick, because he's mentally deranged. He's challenged, so you want to rather find other ways of getting through to him, to be able to pull him to yourself. If that was your son, would you just beat him up? And no, you'd find other means of pulling them in, so as to begin the engineering of change. And that's what we should do with these people. Love them, tell them the truth. The in the face sometimes is good, but let's balance the activity, and that will help.
How should we take care of new converts? I'm trying to bring in the whole Moesha thing. I think it's one of the things on my heart. Like,
Yeah. Evangelism, the devil doesn't fear evangelism. The devil doesn't care who you tell about Jesus. The devil doesn't care who receives Jesus. The problem is discipleship. After they receive Jesus, what happens? So if you just preach and they go away, the devil will just take them right back. Sometimes the seeds are sown. Yes, other people water. God will bring the increase. But the devil fears when you now follow a man through and tell him, do this, do that, do. And that's what I think we are missing with Moesha. Yeah. I don't know too much in that space, but I think that she just needs somebody to actually hold her hand and take her through before she begins to tell people about Jesus. Because you must know enough to be able to speak. Paul said, when I got that encounter, I didn't even confer with the young men in Jerusalem. I went into the deserts of Arabia. When John the Baptist came, he came from God. It was a man sent from God whose name was John. When he came, the Bible says he went into the wilderness. There always has to be a point where you go for training and for, refining to be able to come back and give the adequate kind of message to people.
Right. What time is service today?
It's 4:30.
4:30. Where do you mean?
GH Media School.
Okay.
That's our auditorium is there in GH Media School.
How do we find you?
Timothy Bentum Ministry, of course. The website, www.timothy Ministries. On Facebook, Timothy Bentum Ministries. Instagram, Timothy Bentum Ministries. My PA's number, obviously, is 0547 655 257. 0547 655 257. If a brother, sister, uncle, daddy, is addicted, call me and
please call him. Okay, it's been said, Joy calling you and you showing up. The Blasters are playing on. Is it Tuesday? Are they winning? Prophetically, look inside.
I must be honest with you. I don't go watch us.
May God's grace see us through every life's race with an extra pace no enemy can chase. Timothy Bentum has been my guest on Up Close today. Thank you, Chris, for producing. Shouts to Michaela. And thanks to you two who had time to watch. If you missed it, play back. YouTube and Facebook. Next week, let's see who is up here. My name is Fifi Folson, the Christocentric guy. Guess what? Hanodame is here. It's 10 a.m.